Good evening, and welcome to this special edition of Fixing the Nation. Now, in Sierra Leone politics, few stories are as compelling, as fraught with history, and as potentially defining for our nation's future as that of former Vice President Chief Alhaji Samuel Sam Sumana and his relationship with the opposition All People's Congress Party. Now, it's a saga that has it all. A dramatic dismissal during the Ebola crisis, high-stakes legal battles at the Supreme Court of Sierra Leone and the ECOWAS Court of Justice, the formation of a breakaway party, and now a remarkable return and an audacious bid for the very top of the party that expelled him in 2015. Now, this is more than a personal political rivalry. It is a microcosm of the fundamental tensions in our democracy between constitutional principle and political pragmatism, between party rules and popular appeal, between the desire for reconciliation and the instinct for control. To unpack this complex struggle, I've been joined by the Chief of Staff of Chief Alhaji Samuel Sam Sumana. Brother Michael Ture, good evening and welcome to Fixing the Nation.
Good evening and thanks for having me. It's bad network though. I'm in Kenema, so the network they fluctuate bad now.
No problem. Thank you. Continue to stay there. We are also expecting the National Publicity Secretary of the main opposition, All People's Congress Party, CDI at Tunis. But the historical context is inexplicable. In 2015, Sam Sumana was not only expelled from the APC, but dismissed from the office of Vice President, a move his team has always maintained was an unconstitutional act by former President Ernest Bai Koroma. He took his fight to the highest courts, arguing it was a matter of principle for the rule of law. Now, after fronting the Coalition for Change, which found significant success in the 2018 elections, he has now returned to the APC fold. But his return is where the present conflict ignites. He has declared his intention to run for the APC's flag bearership. The party's constitution requires 5 years of uninterrupted membership for any leadership aspirant, a rule the APC leadership suggests applied to him following years outside the party. Sam Sumana argues this is a discriminatory barrier that contradicts the national constitution. So tonight, we must ask the difficult questions that this situation presents for all of us as a citizen and as a nation. Is this a story about one man's ambition, or is it a litmus test for internal party democracy? Are the APC's rules a necessary safeguard to ensure loyalty, or are they a tool to sideline a formidable challenger? And most importantly, what does this struggle tell us about the health of our democratic institutions and the difficult balance between upholding the rules and winning elections? So our central topic for discussion is this: constitutional principles versus political pragmatism. Can Sam Sumana's APC leadership ambitions forge a new path for Sierra Leone's democracy? So let me start off with Brima Michael to read the Chief of Staff from the Office of Chief Alhaji Samuel Sam Sumana, former Vice President of Sierra Leone. Now, Brima, let's start off. What really is Chief Alhaji Samuel Sam Sumana and his camp? What are you challenging the APC on?
Well, thank you very much, first of all, for having me on the program for the first time, actually. Never knew you had this. But now that I'm here, let me make use of it. What Chief Sam Sumana is challenging is what any normal human being or Sierra Leonean would challenge when someone or a group of people take it upon themselves to deny you that which is your right, which is to participate in the APC flag bearer race by coming and throwing on your way things that the national constitution would not normally allow anyone to do to you. That is what, in a nutshell, he is challenging. Because as we all know, the national constitution supersedes any other law as it is stated right there in the very constitution. And so if someone or anybody or any group of people try to disallow you from participating in something that you know you're qualified to participate in, then you would be concerned about it. And therefore, you would be tempted to challenge that audacious act by anyone whatsoever. So that is what he's challenging, actually.
Let's get to look at it this way. First off, on loyalty and strategy, BMT. How do you respond to critics who say Sam Sumana's return to the APC is not based on ideology or loyalty, but is purely pragmatic calculation because the C4C platform was not a viable path to the presidency?
Samuel, just like any other political person, and former President Nkrumah not excluded, he was with the PDP, People's Democratic Party. When he politically calculated and knew that it would be very difficult for him to become president of Sierra Leone, he decided to leave the PDP and come to the APC. And eventually, he is able to become president in the APC. So, like any other politician, Dr. Kande Yumkela left the SLPP, formed the C4, the NGC. When he calculated and knew that he wasn't going to make it, he decided to come back to the SLPP. So it's a political calculation, Samuel, more than anything else. It's about consolidating your desire. It's about promoting your desire. It's about making sure you don't miss. It's about making sure you succeed. And if you know you are going to be spending a whole lot of time in a political party where you may not eventually become what you want to become, then you would want to do that make that political calculation to come to a political party where you know you have some kind of leverage and the opportunity to be what you want to be. So I believe he is not an exception, like many other politicians.
So it's necessarily not based on ideology or belief in the APC, but a path to the presidency. That's why Sam Sumana returns to the APC.
Well, in order for you to be able to even promote ideology and to also promote your vision or agenda for a country, you would have to be able to be in a political party where you can win, because the main essence here is to win. If you don't win and you're not president, all of what you're thinking or your vision or your ambition or whatever it is would just be a mere fallacy or fancy. You would have to actualize it by making sure that you are in a platform where that can be possible for you. And so that is the reason why any politician would do the calculation. You go back to Nigeria, for example, you see Tinubu jumping from one place to another until eventually he is able to make himself comfortable and relevant in the political party where he has now become president. Buhari did the same, jumping from one political party to another in order to actualize his political dreams. So Sam Sumana will not be an exception. I gave you a typical example in Sierra Leone. Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma had to leave the PDP to come to the APC and eventually was able to be president. He could not have been able to do so in the PDP. So you have to be able to calculate, and in order for you to be able to promote your political vision for the people of this country. You cannot be in a party that cannot win an election and be able to do anything for this country, no matter how beautiful your political vision might be.
BMT, stay with us. Let's take a look at what the Secretary General of the All People's Congress Party had to say following the press conference that Chief Alhaji Samuel Sam Sumana held at Radisson Blu. And I must give credit to to Liberty Online for this. Let's quickly take this clip from the Secretary General of the All People's Congress Party, courtesy of Liberty Online TV.
The point in time was the only one really we could think of who was suspended. So if Fisher say, when we go convention, this 2020 convention, because we are not being put the issue of readmission for address membership, we want to go address the constitution. We want to go make sure say una get the 2022 constitution. Now, when they go na this 2023 convention, una make sure say the issue of readmission in compliance with the 2023 constitution, that the 2022 constitution, that is section 13, specifically Fisher talk and say una for put readmission on the agenda for go readmit all the one they wait and don't there. So when we go to the convention, that is exactly what Ibrahim Sori, who will conduct the election, did. He asked them, and Ibrahim Sori is a lawyer. He wanted to comply with that order of Fisher, Justice Fisher, sorry, because it was a court directive. So if we comply with a court directive, and it is based on that court decision that we his present membership card, he is now a member of the party. And I think that is what I am happy for. All we should do now is for him to focus and make sure he helps the party and work for the party. You see, the issue of leadership in the party, which everybody, we have many people now, wants to be, is sometimes people should look at it as a divine calling. If God not put on, he not put on. If God put on, he put on. Whichever way, whichever status somebody being at the party, if God say, I be leader, I be leader. So let us be content with what we have at the point in time, especially so when it is a court-ordered convention. We cannot go against the court. This is something I don't want to talk about, Khadija, because when you say this, people feel aggrieved. Even when you are saying the right thing, the judgment is there. If you want the judgment, I'll forward it to you. But I don't want this issue of bantering words, as if sometimes the Secretary General or the party, I know like Sam Sumana, no one Sam Sumana for Kambi flag bearer, no one Sam Sumana for... That is not so. But people have their own ways. And so I hope people are listening to this to understand that the party wants Sam Sumana, the party loves Sam Sumana, the party wants any other person in the party to come back. But we have to do it by the Constitution. We don't have to do it outside the Constitution. That is the position.
All right. Many thanks to Liberty Online TV for that particular clip. Now BMT, you've listened to the Secretary General of the All People's Congress Party, Lance Anadulia, and he's made it very clear that what is enshrined, and besides, the court ordered the All People's Congress Party to go and readmit, not reinstatement. So first off, please make that clarification for us. Was Sam Sumana reinstated or readmitted into the APC?
In the first place, Lawyer Lansana Dubea should be honest to himself to know that the court did not give any specific like readmit or reinstate. He should know that he's a lawyer. He has to be very careful with some of his utterances. The court ordered the APC to go and do two things, Samuel. Go and adopt your constitution and address all unresolved membership disputes. Those are the exact words from the judge. It's there in the ruling. Adopt your constitution. Resolve all unresolved membership disputes. The court did not say anything about readmit or reinstate. We are talking about readmission because Sam Sumana in 2020, on the 7th of January 2020, sent a letter to the APC to say, I am requesting to be readmitted into the APC. The APC met on the 8th of September 2020, and in a NAC meeting that was already a National Delegates Conference, and the reason why I say that is because at that time that they met, Samuel, it was Corona time. And so gatherings were forbidden. Large gatherings were forbidden. And so they could not meet as a National Delegates Conference or convene a National Delegates Conference. But in the 1995 Constitution then, It is provided for there in Article 6 somewhere, where it says, in an emergency situation, the NAC, the National Advisory Committee, which is the second highest decision-making body, can take or perform the functions of the National Delegates Conference to carry on with the business of the party. It's there. So at that material moment, they needed to extend their time as an executive because their term had expired. Their 3-year mandate had expired. They needed to extend it. And the only way they can extend it is when they are a National Delegates Conference. And because it is provided for in the Constitution, they decided to invoke that part of the Constitution in order to comfortably make themselves a National Delegates Conference to have the authority to extend their time. It was at that same material moment that they accepted Sam Sumana's return to the APC and allowed and agreed to reinstate him. In that letter, which I'm sure you have read and many people have read, there are words in that letter like your expulsion has been lifted. You have been allowed to come back unanimously with no objection, and all of those beautiful language. Only that they had a caveat there. They said, but to be endorsed at a National Delegates Conference. There was no need for another National Delegates Conference. They were already a National Delegates Conference at that material moment. So let him don't talk about readmission or reinstatement from the judge. The judge never said anything about readmission or reinstatement. We are the ones that are saying, you have given us a letter. Yes.
BMT, let me ask you this question. You know, I could still recall when Chief Samuel Sam Sumana left Sierra Leone and returned for 2018 elections. I think I was the first journalist to have a sit down with him for him to explain his political ambition at the time. And he categorically told me that he would contest as a presidential candidate in the coalition he would participate for the presidency. Let me quickly welcome the National Publicity Secretary of the Opposition All People's Congress Party, CDI at Tunis. Good evening and welcome to Fixing the Nation.
Good evening, Samuel. Thank you very much.
All right. So I was saying, Brima, the fact that Chief Samuel Sam Sumana clearly told me that he was going to contest as a presidential candidate in the 2018 elections, the question I asked him was, are you going to contest? Are you going to return back to the APC or not? For him, returning to the APC was the last thing on the table. So is Sam Sumana returning to the APC because he feels that he cannot, again, get the presidency under the coalition for change? Can he, is he a reliable politician? Is reliability synonymous to Sam Sumana?
I couldn't get the last words, but I couldn't get your last words. The network is so bad, I couldn't get the last words. You're saying, is he returning to the APC because of what?
The fact that the C4C cannot give him what he wants.
Samuel, I just told you, and I gave you instances and references as to how politicians normally would normally do political calculations. I gave you a reference to former President Anas Baikoroma. He was in the PDP. When he knew he couldn't have a chance of becoming a president under the PDP, he came to the APC. Keep in mind, he came to the APC and eventually was able to become president in the APC. So it's the same with any other politician. Kadeyum Kela was in the SLPP, left and went to NGC, came back to SLPP. No harm done. Politicians do that. So there is no crime committed. Sam Sumana is coming to the APC. Already he is in the APC. The only thing we have here is they're saying he's not qualified to participate in the 2026 primary race, and we are saying he is qualified. The National Constitution qualifies him. The letter that they gave him in 2020 qualifies him. But you made reference to a court judgment that Lansana is quoting. And it's so sad that when you pick and choose the things that you want to actually uphold from a ruling, it becomes very problematic. But here is why I am saying this. In that same ruling that he is quoting, The judge unequivocally said that the executive at that time was illegal. And the National Publicity Secretary at one point also reiterated that and said they had been chased out by the judge. The judge told them they were illegal and that he went to that convention and voted and never voted, but he was voted for because of that same lacuna. And so if you're saying that is the case, there are several other things that the same executive did at the time that were illegal. Why would you want to pinpoint on Sam Sumana's letter that was given to him in 2020? Because I can name a million things here. One, Samuel, is very important. This is a public domain and let people understand this. One, it is the same executive in 2017 that gave membership to Dr. Samura Kamara. No offense intended. It is the same executive that gave him or selected him to become flag bearer for the APC. Is he illegal? Because the ruling says that whatever the executive did was illegal. So they filled in an illegal presidential candidate. Let them don't lose sight of that because it's very important. Secondly, it's the same executive that gave symbols to the members of parliament that went to parliament in 2018. Are they all illegal? It's the same executive that selected the Constitutional Review Committee.
Okay.
That put together the 2022 Constitution that they're now quoting. Simon, this is very important.
Go ahead. Let me allow you. Go ahead.
It is the same executive that they are saying gave a letter to Sam Sumana that they're now saying is not tenable anywhere. It's null and void. It's the same executive that gave symbols to all the members of parliament that went to parliament in 2018. Some of them are still there up to this time. Are they all illegal? Is the APC prepared to pay all that money back to the Consolidated Revenue Fund? They have to be very careful. It's the same executive. So if the constitution that they put together, that same executive, because they selected the Constitutional Review Committee members, if the constitution, if they are illegal, the people that they selected to put the constitution together are equally illegal, and the constitution, the document itself, is illegal. Why are they quoting it for anything whatsoever? Why? They have to be very careful. Let them don't keep chasing one person and then open a whole lot of canker worms.
Stay there with us. Stay there with us. Let's bring in the National Publicity Secretary of the Opposition All People's Congress Party, Sidi Yaya Tunis. Now, Sidi, I'm sure you followed the press conference held by Chief Alhaji Samuel Sam Sumana at Radisson Blu, and he made a claim that the APC constitution is discriminating compared to the country's 1991 constitution. First off, is Sam Sumana qualified to run as flag bearer for the APC? Let's have that clarity.
Well, I don't have the authority here to state who is qualified to run or not. The constitution of the APC that is now in existence, that was mandated by the court, by the way. Don't forget, we were taken to court for constitutional breach. And the court mandated the APC to go ahead and amend the constitution. As that was the main reason why first the NRM took us to court, and then secondly, Alfred Peter Conte. That constitution that has gone through all of the legal processes as per law, that have been through the PPRC and challenged before the 2023 elections, and gone through the court system, gazetted, and have become the working document of the APC, is the one that determines, based on the provisions in that constitution, who is eligible or who is not eligible. That constitution was not made for a single individual. It was not made targeting a single individual. It was made for the functionality of the APC, and it has been adopted, and it is now law, under the APC constitution. And there is no section in that constitution that is discriminatory, Samuel. The APC constitution has several eligibility criteria for every office holder. That is very key to note. For every office holder, the APC constitution has eligibility criteria, and one such is duration. How long you take in the party to hold specific office in the party, from ward level all the way to national leader. And our constitution focuses on the election of national officers, regional officers, district officers, constituency officers, and ward officers, also organs, affiliate bodies, NAC members. All of these different structures have specific duration that a member should take before you can hold office in any of those. So we have to bear that in mind. So there is nowhere in our constitution that is focusing on particular individual or somebody wanting to be a presidential candidate.
So
the 1991 constitution has general provisions for people who are eligible to run for the presidency of this country. But that same 1991 constitution also has as one of it that you have to belong to a political party. So which means, of course, no one person can just get up in one day and say they want to become president. It is political parties that put forward candidates for presidency. And for you to be put forward as candidate for a president, you have to be a member of a political party. These same political rights under the law to make laws that govern how they function as political parties. You understand? So if there is a duration clause that makes any individual illegible, not eligible to run for presidency or to be presented as the party's presidential candidate, does that mean that the party is discriminating against any individual? I don't think so. We have not in any way violated or make it impossible for Sierra Leoneans to run for presidency. We have not put into our constitution that for you to be a leader, you have to be 39 years old or 38 years old. That will be direct violation of the constitution, and it will make it impossible for anyone to run. We have not put in our constitution that, oh, you can be a dual citizen and run. That would be a direct violation of the 1991 constitution, as they are claiming. We have not put in our constitution that even if you have criminal record, you can run to be a leader and as a presidential candidate. None of those are in our constitution. Yes.
So let me ask you this question, Sidi. I asked Brahma Michael Ture earlier the question as to whether or not Chief Alhaji Samuel Sam Sumana believes.
I'm listening, Samuel.
In the ideology or loyalty of the party, or rather just using the APC as a vehicle to arrive at his ultimate destination of becoming the presidency. And he cited a couple of individuals, including former President Ernest Baikroma, who he said was in the CDP, PDP, and then later became a member of the APC and eventually become the president of the republic. So what are some of the things you as a party you are looking for in who becomes the next flag bearer? Do you look at unfortunately we've lost Sidi. Hope he joins us soon again in the show, but I still have Brahma Michael. Brahma, you've listened to what Sidi has elucidated on, and I'm sure Sidi categorically is saying that the constitution of the APC is in no way targeting any individual or in contravention to the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone. What's your take on that?
Well, in the first place, before I even go to that, I want to say that I'm extremely excited that for the first time, after the National Publicity Secretary of the APC party had gone out there many times to tell the whole world that Chief Sam Sumana is not qualified to participate in the 2026 primary race, today he is saying he does not have the authority to say that. Double standards, that's contradiction. You have said to the whole world many times that this man is not qualified, and today you're saying you don't have the authority to say that. Don't you ever know that you didn't have the authority to say that? until today. But let's put that aside. I'm glad that at least today he can say he does not have the authority, because they have the head of the legal team who has the authority to tell who is qualified and who is not qualified. Why have they never bring that individual before? Why have they never brought the head of the legal team? But here is the thing. Just because a law has not been enacted does not necessarily mean that law does not exist. When people were becoming members of parliament while they were dual citizens of this country, they enjoyed that because no one came forward to say it was not right, until lawyer Gabidon came forward in 2018, thereabout, to say, hey, our law is saying if you are a dual citizen, you do not qualify to become a member of parliament. Before people started getting removed from parliament or not giving symbols to go to parliament because they have a dual citizenship. So just because no one has ever challenged that constitution before does not necessarily mean someone should not challenge it now. We are saying now that that constitution, the 2022 constitution, is totally in contravention of the 1991 constitution, article 41, section 41, I'm sorry. Go there.
But BMT, would you agree if that constitution is contravening the 1991 constitution, it is still a law until perhaps a decision is made apparently from the Supreme Court? But it's the clauses, the sections enshrining it still stand. Do you agree?
Samuel, that is the reason why people challenge laws and they take the challenge somewhere.
Okay.
So Chief Sam Sumana has started taking his challenge to the PPRC, which is the first stage before you go to any court if you ever have to go to court. So let us go to the PPRC and hear what the PPRC have to say.
Yes. BMT, hold on.
First of all, it is not correct to say that no one has ever challenged this constitution.
Okay.
It is incorrect to state that.
Give us those words.
Michael, BMT there knows very well that this constitution was challenged even before it came into existence repeatedly. In 2023, there were sections of it were taken to the PPRC, especially this particular section they are still challenging. It was taken to PPRC, challenged there, debated repeatedly before even it was adopted and taken and gazetted. So to say that no one ever challenged it is not true. It was challenged. It went through all the hurdles. It went through all the hurdles. That particular clause was challenged repeatedly, and you know that. It went through several hurdles before it was even gazetted and it became law. There is nothing in our constitution.
BMT, just allow Sydney. I'll come back to you, please.
And let me state this also. It doesn't mean because something is in our political party that is not in the national constitution does not make it illegal. Samuel, we all know in this country, you know, that you have institutions that are given the rights by the laws to make laws to govern their functionality. In this country, we know, for example, in parliament, you miss sitting for 30 days, you cease becoming a member of parliament. Is that in the constitution? No, but it is in the standing orders of parliament. Because the standing orders is what dictates it's what governs the activities of parliament. So everything is in the standing orders of parliament, is binding on all members of parliament. So are you saying provisions that are not in the standing orders of parliament are illegal, or the actions of parliamentarians losing their seats in parliament, you know, that is in the standing orders due to duration, not in the constitution, does that make it illegal?
Permit me to ask you this question, Sidi.
Go ahead.
With all of these fights going on, and that particular clause in the APC constitution talking about 5 uninterrupted years, does the APC party fear a Sam Sumana leadership could shift the APC's internal dynamics away from its traditional core, and this is more a battle over control than rules?
That particular clause I have repeatedly stated was never put in there for Sam Sumana or any particular individual. It is applicable to all national officers, including myself seated here. It is when you become the national leader that you are presented as presidential candidate. 17 people contested in 2023 National Delegates Conference under that same clause. Were we selective? No. All those who were eligible under the APC constitution were allowed to contest. As I speak now, we have 21 people, including Chief Sam Sumana, who has expressed interest to contest. Did he not know that the constitution was illegal when he expressed interest to contest? Why did he contest? Why did he express interest to contest if he knew that particular clause was illegal?
Okay.
You understand?
Samuel,
21 people.
Samuel.
BMC, I'm coming.
So that particular clause was not put there. Samuel, for you to contest under ward, for any position at ward level is 1 year. Any position under constituency is 2 years. District 3 years. From regional all the way to national is 5 years. So that clause was not put in there for any particular individual, as the Sam Sumana people want this country to believe. At the time that constitution was created, Sam Sumana was not a member of our party. Why would we even consider him, you know, in formulating our constitution?
By the way, are we talking about the 2022 elections, constitution, sorry? The 2022 constitutions of the APC, right?
That is what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. So the duration clause was not put in there for presidential candidates specifically. The duration clause was put in there for specific office holders within the party structures of the APC party. But it is just that the same constitution says when you become the national leader, you eventually become the presidential candidate of the APC.
All right.
So why are they trying to limit? So why are they trying to limit the 5-year clause to just one individual? Why are they trying to ignore the fact that the clause was put in there for the specific office?
I'll tell CD why.
Yes. I know you want
Please.
I know you want to respond. I'm coming, Brahma. I know you want to respond to the things CD has articulated, but just quickly before you do that, do you see Sam Sumana as one just trying to create problems within the APC?
How would Sam Sumana be? How would Sam Sumana be? How would Sam Sumana be? How would Chief Sam Sumana be someone who wants to just create problems in the APC? If he wanted to create problems for the APC, he could have created problems for the APC a long time ago. Starting from his expulsion, his illegal expulsion. Please, let me have time like he did. Starting from his illegal expulsion from the party, where people later came forward to say, we lied. He could have taken this party to court for that. They said, we lied.
But
they took money from him in 2023. He took the government to court on his removal from office as an elected vice president. Let's don't lose sight of that.
Why?
Let us not lose sight of that. And if you let me, like you did to him, I think I will be able to put my points clear, because he spoke for nearly 15, 20 minutes, and you never interrupted him.
You have spoken more than I have. Don't start complaining. Come on.
I'm very much familiar with that.
No, exactly. You have spoken more than I have, so don't start complaining.
That is not true. That is not true. First of all, it's misinformation. I can tell CD that it's misinformation here to say that the constitution was made well before Sam Sumana expressed interest to come back. That's not true. You see, he has to be reading these things. Sam Sumana was given a letter of reinstatement in 2020.
I said,
do you lose sight of that too?
A member.
That was 2020.
He was not
he's still interrupting me.
Of our party.
Can you let me? You let me? This is what you do all the time. I gave you time to speak, and now you're not letting me. Okay? In 2020, the APC gave him a letter of reinstatement. What do you call that? At that material moment, he is back in the APC. You know why they did not do what the judge asked them to do in 2021? To go and do two things: adopt the constitution and resolve all or resolve membership disputes, because Sam Sumana was already on the pipeline. Okay, if they had done what the judge did in 2021, by this time we would not be talking about 5-year clause or no 5-year clause. They knew that very well. That's why they did not do it. So we know all of these games that they were playing at the time. If they had, why did they not honor the court's order by doing the two things?
Brahma, you're saying this constitution is targeting Sam Sumana? Is that what you're saying?
In a way, I would. In a way, I would, because he was given a letter of reinstatement in 2020. By 2021, they were asked to go and resolve all unresolved membership disputes. And it's not just Sam Sumana's membership, all other membership. Why did they go there and adopt the constitution and did not resolve the unresolved membership disputes? When they came back, the National Secretary General was fined by the court, and they were asked to go back and do it. Thereafter, he sent out a press release to say they will resolve membership disputes in the next National Delegates Conference. That was when the judge said, no, you're not even legal anymore to take this party anywhere. That was how they were stepped aside and injuncted. That was when Peter Conte came in with his own case against the APC. The judge said, no, we will not let you go and do this because you're no longer legal. So step aside. So we are talking about specific things in the national constitution, Samuel, because let me come back to that. He was quoting, he was making reference to the national constitution and things that are not in the constitution. So we are talking about specific things. When something is explicitly stated in a national constitution, you cannot go against it.
Why are
plain and simple? City cannot play around that.
Why are you only challenging that now? Now that Sam Sumana feels that that particular clause in the constitution is preventing him from becoming the flag bearer of the APC. Why challenging it now since 2023? Because since 2023, when he was reinstated,
I gave you Samuel, I gave you the reference. People have been going to parliament when they have dual citizenship in this country until 2018 when someone blew the whistle. Okay, so just because somebody did not challenge it yesterday does not mean it is right today. That's my point here.
Right.
A crime is a thief can only think what they are doing is okay before they were caught.
No, the question
is criminal.
Why now? Why now?
You may not know it is until you are caught. So the fact that no one challenged it before does not mean it is right. Now somebody is challenging it. Do you want to say because they did not challenge it last year, therefore no one should challenge it today?
The question is,
people can challenge things anytime they think.
The question is, why now?
I'm listening.
Sam Sumana was readmitted or reinstated in the APC in 2023. This is 2025. Why challenging that now?
Why challenging that now? It's because the APC national publicity team kept going out there and telling people that he is not qualified to participate in the 2026 flag bearer race. That is why we're challenging it.
On this particular
and he is sitting there. He knows that they've been going out and telling people.
Okay, on this particular show, the National Publicity Secretary has said he does not have the authority to say who is and who is not qualified. The Constitution is saying it.
Only now.
Let me ask you this, Brahma, quickly before I bring in CD. Why is Sam Sumana so keen on fighting to belong to a political party whose ideology or loyalty is not a priority to him? He just needs a platform to achieve his presidential ambition.
Well, in the first place, he never said that. I just drew reference to people who left other political parties and came to another political party to actualize their political dreams. So I'm not saying he does not believe in the ideology or philosophy of the APC. I never said that, because he does. He was born in the APC. He was APC before he was illegally removed from the APC. Let us don't lose sight of that. Sam Sumana did not voluntarily leave the APC. He was expelled after being lied against by people who came now later to say they lied. Let's not lose sight of that, because that's very important component here. So if he is coming back, we should not be putting all these stumbling blocks on his way when we know they are not legal. Those stumbling blocks. That is what we are challenging. You know, we're not saying we hate the APC because they have laws. No.
Let me ask Sidi this question. Sidi, you know, from a purely practical standpoint, doesn't alienating Sam Sumana and his strong base in Kono risk repeating the 2018 and 2023 electoral outcomes? I mean, it's upholding an internal rule what's potentially losing another national election. City.
He has not been alienated in any way. But also we have a responsibility as a political party to ensure that every member of our party abides by the provisions of the constitution of the APC. No member can come and feel so supreme that the constitution has to be amended to suit his desires or personal desires, when in fact the constitution is in existence for every member of the party at every level. All of the provisions within the 1990, the APC 2022 constitutions are for every APC member. We are bound as members of the APC to abide by all the provisions of our constitution. It is there clearly. So in fact, what they are accusing us exactly is what they want us to do: amend the constitution to suit an individual, which in itself is wrong. And let me also make the individual
and its team. They are saying that particular clause is targeting.
Samuel, I have just explained repeatedly. I have taken my time to go through repeatedly that those duration clauses are not put in there for even just one office. Duration clauses are applicable to all offices in the party structure, all of it, from ward level all the way up. So how can a 5-year clause, which is a duration clause for regional positions, national positions, be targeting an individual? Let us even assume that Sam Sumana will become the leader of the APC. How long will he be leader of the APC? Maximum 10 years. So why would we target a particular individual in doing a constitution that will have to exist for many, many, many decades? You know, does it make sense at all? And let me make specific things clear here, because I see this idea. In the first place, the public needs to understand that the APC never initiated a case against Sam Sumana. People brought in a complaint, and APC as a political party went through all of the processes and steps stipulated in the then constitution in investigating that complaint and profiling specific actions to be taken. So as far as the parties constitution were concerned, every process was followed in handling and dealing with the matter relating to Sam Sumana as of what happened. So if people come later and say they lied, do we have to blame the party? That is one. Secondly, Samuel, I see BMT making reference to the letter in 2020, and this is where they have been blaming me. All I have always explained is relating to that particular letter. In the first place, that letter, which they say reinstated Sam Sumana, was very clear that it was subject to the approval of the National Delegates Conference. And it was deliberate, because the writer of that letter knew very well that the only competent body that has the authority to bring anyone back into the party who has either left or are expelled is the National Delegates Conference. And since then, because of the many lawsuits, we were never able to hold National Delegates Conference until 2023. This idea that the court told us to go adopt the constitution in 2021, we were still working on the constitution in 2021. I was a member of the Constitutional Review Committee. We were still working on the constitution in 2021. That constitution came into existence in 2022. And to say that that constitution was not challenged is not true. If you go to PPRC, the records are there. I can list you people who are members. Samuel, I can list you people who are members of the Sam Sumana team. I have nothing against Sam Sumana, by the way. As National Publicity Secretary, my responsibility is to bring the facts to the public. I have people who are members of the Sam Sumana team who were the challengers. I can name them. Who were the challengers back then in 2021. So to sit here and so this is a pattern. This is a pattern we have seen since 2021. So to say that it was never challenged.
He would not let you moderate the program. That's the problem here. You know, let me say this, Samuel.
Yeah.
Comrade Sidia today said that APC did everything. After the complaint was brought in, they investigated and did everything within their own constitution or whatever it is to take the decision that they took at the time. Let me remind him, in case he forgot, that Chief Sam Sumana was not given the opportunity to appeal, and he sent his letter of appeal within the 30 days. On the 26th of March, he sent his letter of appeal. On the 6th of March, he was expelled, and on the 26th of March, he sent his letter of appeal. They did not hear it. No one sat on the appeal. Nothing was done, and they expelled him. Is that a conclusive thing? Is that a conclusive? Because if you had allowed him to appeal, how do we know that those witnesses would not have come forward to say, well, indeed, we lied? Probably we could have resolved the matter there and then during the appeal process. But they did not even allow him to appeal. That was the reason why the ECOWAS court said, because the party did not allow him to appeal, they provided the opportunity for the president to remove him from office as vice president, a violation of his human rights. That is the thing that the court upheld at the time. You see the point? They never allowed him to appeal. They never sat on the appeal. They never looked at it. They just went ahead and expelled him. So that is the point. So correct yourself on that next time, so people understand and we don't misinform people that everything was done within the constitution. No, the constitution required you to appeal.
Gentlemen, let's take some messages, please. Let's quickly take some messages. We have many messages. Unfortunately, time will not permit us to go through all of them. Political Mufti is saying Chief Sam Sumana's case following the 2015 constitutional controversy over his removal as vice president. Sam Sumana versus the Republic of Sierra Leone ECOWAS court brought constitutional interpretation to the forefront of public discourse. It exposed weaknesses in legal safeguards and the overreach of political interest, a movement that many may view as a turning point in Sierra Leone's democratic maturity. Now, his return to the APC is not just a political move, it's a test of whether or not the party, his case, unfortunately, it's a test of whether the party and the nation can trust him. Okay, that is not too clear. Let me continue to take some messages. Joseph Austin is saying, can Brahma Michael Toure interpret the national constitution about political parties? Michael Coker is saying, Sam Sumana is not above the law. Who does he think he is if he wants to impose his will on the APC? Alusain Toure is saying, if Sam Sumana knew that he has to come back to the APC, why did he form his political party and contested against the APC? And now he's coming and his intention is to lead only. David M. Koroma is saying, wow. Okay, David, thank you for the compliment. Fode Sariman is saying, which executive gave Sam Sumana's reinstatement letter? The old executive has been dissolved by the court. Let Sam go to court. Clarification. So by that, the APC would be free in all of this. The last man is saying, no one denies Sam's request to rejoin the APC party. He must, however, adhere to constitutional provisions. The APC party can't adjust its constitution just to satisfy Sam Sumana. Let Ikam join and take the party to governance come 2028. Not to pass you be flag bearer before you play your role towards the APC party. For the Sorima is saying we need the proven document. Sam said, EBK, no, that's not what we're discussing here, please. If Sam Sumana wants to become a president of that country, it's either a join APC or he forgets about it, because the mentality of people in that country is that only two political parties can rule that country, which is APC and SLPP. Well, Sam is already a member of the APC. Ayo Jonathan Williams is saying, let APC allow the man to contest if they want to win the 2028 elections. APC needs Chief Sam Sumana if they want to win. Mohammed Kudi is saying, please ask BMT if he ever stays in Banjul and later Arizona and USA. Well, the question is there for him. The APC constitution is bigger than anyone. Mohammed Prezosi is saying, Bangura is saying, APC needs everyone, but we cannot go against our APC constitution to fit some. I'm going to take let me take 5 more messages. The messages are so many, unfortunately. Sam is the latest straw for APC to use if they can sweep the next election, James Kanu is saying. Anthony MS Kasaba is saying he's watching from Australia. Okay, thank you. Abdurrahman Bangura is saying the APC should not treat the Sam Sumana issue if it is not important to APC winning the 2028 elections. We all saw what happened in 2023 when Sam Sumana made a statement that caused his party to lose many votes in that region. Elvis Wilson is saying he cannot win. Let them allow him. Later, the SLPP will take him to court. Abu Bakr is saying the APC should not. Okay, I think I've gone through that. The final message I'll take because of time is from 4 days. So Imam is saying these are some of the guys who are advocating for reforms in the party. And when the constitution comes up and gazetted, they are now asking and waiting for petition. Okay, I think those are the messages time would permit us to take. Unfortunately, I think we've lost CD and Brahma Michael to read a little bit in the dark. But quickly, Brahma, as we wrap up,
yeah.
Where does this leave Sam Sumana and his ambition? I know he said he is, and the executive secretary of the Political Parties Regulation Commission confirmed that he has tendered concerns and complaints to the commission. What's next for Sam Sumana?
You know, Samuel, first of all, it is only out of respect for you because you're a long-time friend in the media and all of that. That's the reason why I haven't kept on with the program. Because otherwise, I would not have said anything here because our case is already at the BPRC, so I don't want to be seen as prejudicing anything that is going to happen there. I would have said, Samuel, I'm sorry, let us wait what the BPRC is going to say. But I wanted to provide some clarity around some of the misinformation and disinformation and miscalculation that has been peddled by many people in the media over this Chief Sam Sumana issue. That's the reason why. And so all I have to say here is my comrade CDI Tunis and I would argue over this over and over and over and over, and we may not arrive at anything. The only thing that is going to happen here is let us wait what is going to happen at the PPRC, because they are the ones who regulate and mediate between political parties, issues within political parties. And so at the end of the day, we will know what would happen after PPRs. If in fact anyone is going to go beyond that, we will know. But as it is now, he and I would continue to raise points and argue over things here and there, and we may not arrive at anything. Seriously.
All right.
You know, so, but for your respect, I have to come to the program because I wanted to at least participate and not disappoint you.
Thank you very much, Baba Michael Ture. CD, what's next for the APC and Sam Sumana?
I'll continue to insist here in the first place, and which is really why I was on this program as well, that our constitution is legal. It was challenged. It has gone through all the hurdles of the legal system, and it has been gazetted, and people have contested under the provisions of this constitution for offices, including that of the presidency of this country. Let us don't forget that this constitution was a court-mandated constitution. That is why when it was adopted, it did not just stop at the PPRC. It was taken to the high courts of this country. Also because it was a mandate from the courts of Sierra Leone to go and adopt this particular constitution, which has now gone through all of the legal hurdles. Chief Sam Sumana is a member of the APC party, and we will only encourage him to come and join the party, work with the leadership of the party. Let us move the party forward. This idea of always setting people up on the media to come sit and argue about legality of our constitution, the very constitution under which he had expressed interest to contest for the leadership of this party, is not only wrong, but it is out of place, which is why, you know, I hope what Brima said here, they will abide by it. You know, let us wait. They have challenged us at PPRC. Let PPRC come up with their findings and their verdict, and then we'll take it from there. But we are very, very much, you know, confident. We know that our constitution was not targeting any individual. The provisions within the constitution of the APC is binding upon all members of the party. It is legal. It has gone through the legal systems. Thank you very much, Sammy.
Thank
it's
you very
always
much,
a pleasure.
gentlemen. And if it gives you any pleasure already, gentlemen, you have 3.3K views there. And you, so if it gives you pleasure, well, thank you very much, gentlemen, for being part of the conversation here tonight. Thank you. And until next week, my name is Samuel Wise Bangura, and this is Fixing the Nation.
Okay.